An all-time great in his sport will be the subject of the bonus biography round this week on the Sports Challenge. Competing today, last week's winners, the champion California Angels. First, a pitching star who 3 times has pitched no-hit ball, Jim Maloney. Many times, the American League's all-star shortstop and captain of the Angels, Jim Fregosi. One of the new young pitching stars of baseball, Messersmith. This week's challengers are a team of 3 representatives of one of the greatest dynasties in sports, the Boston Celtics. First, the most valuable player ever in the NBA, player coach Bill Russell. The most successful coach in pro basketball history, Arnold Red Auerbach. Many times an all-pro, the Celtics leader on the court, John Havlicek. Host on Sports Challenge, the award-winning voice of the Rams and the Angels, Dick Enberg.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Sports Challenge. Our game today features the champion California Angels, and they meet, well, there have been so few great dynasties in sports, but we have representation on Sports Challenge of one of them today. The Boston Celtics, Bill Russell, Red Auerbach, and John Havlicek. Welcome to Sports Challenge. And Red, I know they've asked you a million questions. I'm wondering, of all of your athletes with Boston, was there one that mentally was the toughest, the most aggressive of all?
I can't really say that, Dick. I think there was more than one, because 2 of them are sitting right here. And I had to say that anyway. But Cousy raced right along with that, and so does Bill Sharman.
You know, each team is competing for $1,000 worth of AMF Voigt sports equipment, and the runner-up for $500 worth. Johnny, for what youth groups are today's teams playing?
Well, this week the Angels are playing for the Frosting Center, Los Angeles, California. And the Boston Celtics represent the East Chicago Heights Athletic Association of East Chicago Heights, Illinois. Voigt has been a leader in sporting goods for 50 years. All sports from basketball to bowling. Whatever sports equipment you need, you have more fun with Voigt. Dick?
Well, we're set to play the game, men. The Boston Celtics, John Havlicek, Red Auerbach, and Bill Russell, against the California Angels, Andy Messersmith, Jim Fregosi, and Jim Maloney. And we'll begin our first category, famous finishes, with a look at an exciting baseball all-star game right after this Sports Challenge timeout. First category, men, famous finishes. Our toss-up question worth 20 points and, of course, then a chance at 2 10-point free throws. One of the greatest finishes in baseball, the 1941 All-Star Game, Briggs Stadium in Detroit. Bottom of the 9th inning, the American League trails 5-4, 2 outs. Runners on first and third, and the Red Sox number 9 sets up. Boston outfielder Ted Williams up the tying run. Joe Gordon at third. Joe DiMaggio, the winning run at first base, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th inning. Ball Castro winds, 6, and here's the pitch. Williams swings at the left. Ted ever showed any more emotion than in that moment, 1941. That year, Williams batted .406, the last Major Leaguers you know to hit 400. Your toss-up question for 20 points. Name the one player whose name does not belong in the list of 400 hitters, alphabetically. Ty Cobb, Harry Heilmann, Rogers Hornsby, Babe Ruth, and George Sisler, the Angels.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is correct for 20 points. Andy Messersmith with a correct answer. The rest of those gentlemen did hit 400. All right, you've earned 2 free throws, Angels, in the category famous finishes. Another famous finish, and a surprising one, came in the Kentucky Derby of 1971. Normally, little is expected of a field horse, but no one told Canonero the second.
Oh, the second is moving. They're in the set. The entry heads apart at Eastern Fleet. Gold and Eagle. Canonero the second is driving. Then Unconscious. And on the rail, moving up is Gold Reason. Canonero the second takes over the lead as they come to the wire. They're going to hit the finish, and it's the Calvin horse. Canonero the second was a surprise winner. Relay.
The Pride of Venezuela went on to win the Preakness as well, but lost out on the third leg of the Triple Crown by finishing 4th in the Belmont Stakes for 10 points. Name the horse who won the 1971 Belmont. Pass catcher is correct for 10 points. 30-0, the Angels lead. Your second free throw. During the 1970 season, quarterback George Blanda's heroic struck a blow for all young 43-year-olds, winning many games for the Raiders in the final minutes. It's November 8th.
2 minutes left. Blanda from the 10-yard line, looking for the tying touchdown. A slant to Wells. Touchdown! Blanda kicks the extra point, and the Radiants rally to tie 20-20. And Oakland gets the ball back. 3 seconds left. A 52-yard field goal try by Blanda. It's on its way. It is good! Blanda has done it again.
The final score of that game was Oakland 23, Cleveland 20 as Blanda did it. Blanda holds many kicking and passing records, as you know. The question for 10 points, what other quarterback holds the NFL mark for most passes, most completions, and most yards gained in one season? You have 5 seconds. Most completions, most passes, most yards gained in one season. Your answer? John Unitas is incorrect. So the Boston Celtics, if you can give me the correct answer, you will get double points or 20. What NFL quarterback holds the record for a single season, most passes, most completions, most yards gained? Y.A. Tittle is incorrect. The answer is Sonny Jurgensen of the Washington Redskins. He did it in 1967. All right, after one round on Sports Challenge, the defending champion Angels 30, the Boston Celtics nothing. Category number 2, unforgettable moments in sports. And here's one quote to you, Boston Celtics. The 1957 Boston team included several great coaches along with Red Auerbach, Bill Russell. There was Frank Ramsey, Bob Cousy, Tom Heinsohn, and Bill Sharman. This unforgettable moment came in the 1957 Basketball All-Star Game. Just seconds left in the period. West looking for the final shot. Pettit's pass deflected, and Sharman comes up with it. Cousy breaks down court, and Sharman with a long pass for Cousy. It goes in the basket. In the basket. Bill Sharman spoiled some of the fun by admitting the truth that he wasn't really trying for 2 points, but he was trying to pass to Bob Cousy. Your toss-up question for 20 points. Listen carefully. What ABA team did Bill Sharman coach to the league title? The Boston Celtics, Red Auerbach.
Utah Stars.
Utah Stars is correct for 20 points. You got it. You've earned 2 free throws, Celtics, and you should feel very comfortable at our Sports Challenge free throw line. Our category unforgettable moments, first free throw. Last game, 1950 National League season. The Dodgers must beat the Phillies in this last game to tie for the pennant. It's Ebbets Field. Jackie Robinson has made a game-saving catch, and he's also hit a home run. It's tied 1-1 as we go to the top of the 10th inning.
Eddie Waitress, Richie Ashburn on base, Don Newcomb pitching here in the top of the 10th. Dick Sisler at bat. Here's Newcomb's pitch to swing along. Fly ball strikes to deep left field. It'll be out of here. A home run for Sisler. The Phillies win 4-1.
That 4-1 lead held up, and the Whiz Kids won the 1950 National League pennant. Your question for 10 points, Boston. Which of these 3 men managed the Whiz Kids of 1950? Alphabetically, was it Doc Prothro, Eddie Sawyer, or Mayo Smith? 5 seconds.
Eddie Sawyer.
Eddie Sawyer is correct for 10 points. The game is tied, 30-30. Bill Russell sharpened his baseball knowledge. Your second free throw and a chance to take the lead. Unforgettable moment in boxing. 2 pretenders to the heavyweight throne, Madison Square Garden, New York, February 1970. Jimmy Ellis, World Boxing Association champ, against former Olympic Games champion Joe Frazier, recognized as heavyweight king in 6 states, including New York. Midway through the 4th round here in the Garden, and it's Ellis and the White Sox back into the corner, and Joe Frazier pounding away with left and right, and that left hook dropped Ellis. Ellis is hurt and down at the count of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's up at the count of 9 and hurt. Final minute of round 4, and Frazier goes after Jimmy Ellis. Ellis fighting gamely. Frazier pounding away without mercy, left and right to the back, and a victim's left hook. It's all Frazier. in boxing. In a preliminary to that Fraser-Ellis fight, Celtics, another former Olympic Games heavyweight boxing champion won his 16th straight professional bout. For 10 points, who was that 68 Olympic heavyweight champion?
George Foreman.
George Foreman is correct. And after 2 rounds, the Boston Celtics lead the California Angels 40-30. A great game going, and we'll have our third category, famous brothers in sports. Starting with a look at exciting baseball action right after this sports challenge timeout. 40, the California Angels 30. Our next category, men, is brothers in sports. A famous set of brothers carried the name, oh, I guess they were famous. Jim Fregosi indicated his idol, DiMaggio. Here's Dominic DiMaggio in action in the final game of the 1946 World Series. The Cards lead the Red Sox 3-1. It's the top of the 8th inning. Murray Dixon for the Cardinals, 3-1 the score, 8th inning. Pinch hitter Glenn Russell swings and drives a base hit to right field. Pinch hitter George Metcovich swings and slices one down the left field line. That could be trouble. It falls in for a base hit. Russell on his way to third. Metcovich, the tying run, has a double. Harry Burkeen comes in to pitch, gets 2 outs, still runners at third and second. Dominic DiMaggio, the hitter. 3-1, St. Louis. Burkeen pitch. DiMaggio swings, drive into right center field. It's going to fall in for a base hit. 2-run score. DiMaggio limping. Now he's limping into second base with a double. The game is tied 3-3. Joe DiMaggio holds the Major League record for a consecutive game hitting streak. Dom DiMaggio holds the Red Sox mark, the all-time Boston record, 34 straight games. Your toss-up question for 20 points. The third DiMaggio brother was also an outfielder who hit 125 Major League home runs. Give me his name and a Major League team he played for. The Boston Celtics were there first. I must have it immediately. No comment. Vince, and one team that he played for. I must have your answer.
St. Louis.
St. Louis Cardinals, incorrect. So for 20 points, it goes to the California Angels. The question, the third DiMaggio brother, also an outfielder, hit 125 home runs. Give me his name and any Major League team he played for.
Vince, and I'd say Cleveland.
Cleveland is incorrect. So neither of you get the correct answer. Boston, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New York, all in the National League. He played for all those teams. Oh, how time flies, huh, Arnold? All right, what we will do in this category then, we will play the 2 free throws as if they were toss-ups. So the first one to the buzzer gets the chance to answer. They're worth 10 points apiece. The category, famous brothers in sports. A famous brother, well, one of the sensational record holders in modern hockey. He wears number 7, and he is the center for the Boston Bruins. The Boston Celtics have hit their buzzer. Your answer, please.
Esposito with the Boston Bruins.
That is incorrect. Now we'll see the rest of the film. We go back to one of the famous brother acts in hockey, and Boston Bruins number 7.
View of the puck may have been blocked. Now the puck bangs up against the near boards, and Ted Green keeps possession for Boston. He shoots. Esposito makes a perfect deflection into the goal and scores. The assist to Ted Green for Phil Esposito. That's goal number 59 for the 1970-71 season. That's a brand new National Hockey League mark, surpassing 58 by the great Bobby Hull.
And Red Auerbach was very close. The question goes to the Angels, and for 10 points now, for 10 points, since this was a free throw. Name the famous brother of Phil Esposito and tell me his position and the name of his team. You have 5 seconds.
Tony Esposito, goalie for the Chicago Blackhawks.
That is correct for 10 points, and the game is tied. Red, not too bad. He showed a little of that legal background as he gave almost all of the right ingredients to get that answer. The game is tied 40-40. The free throw counts as a toss-up now. Another famous brother in sports, star running back for the Detroit Lions, Mel Farr. The year 1970. Let's watch his slashing style against the St. Louis Cardinals. From the Cardinal 28, Landry gives to Farr off right tackle. Breaks the tackle at the 25-20 to the outside. Kicks free at the 15. 10, 5, touchdown, Detroit. And Mel Farr takes the bow. Your question for 5 points each. For 5 points each, name the famous brother of Mel Farr and give me his position. The Angels were there first. Your answer, please.
Miller Farr, defensive back.
That is correct. Miller Farr, defensive back. The Angels get 10 points and after 3 rounds to score. The Angels 50, the Celtics 40, and quite a sports challenge game. Our category, the end of a dynasty, and the Angels, too, will know the answer. From 1956, and we're striking close to home, to the spring of 1969, you Boston Celtics ruled pro basketball. Only twice in those 13 years did another team win an NBA title, in fact. The dynasty came to an end after the final moments of the 1969 playoff game between the Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers. Watch.
Time running out. The Lakers have a chance to tie. West with a dribble. Off to Egan. Egan in the corner to Erickson. Erickson shot deflected. Russell tips to Havlicek. Boston with the ball. Havlicek in the backcourt. Siegfried with the honors. Moves it into the offensive end. Erickson double teams Siegfried. Off to Havlicek. Erickson hawking the ball. Havlicek looking for the open man. Deflected away. It goes to Nelson. Up with a 15-footer off the iron. Good! The Celtics win another title, and Red makes it official.
Got the cigars with you, Red, tonight? All right, it was Keith Erickson who deflected that ball from Havlicek to Nelson. Nelson making the key bucket. For 20 points, the toss-up question is, for what university was Keith Erickson a basketball star? The Angels were there first, and the answer?
UCLA.
UCLA is correct for 20 points. 70-40 the score. The 2 free throws go to the California Angels. The end of a dynasty, a football dynasty, the Vince Lombardi era at Green Bay. Ended at the Orange Bowl in Miami in Super Bowl II. En route to another big win, this is Lombardi's last game as the Packer coach. The Packers ball own 38, and they lead the Raiders 6-0.
Lombardi's quarterback, Bart Starr, fades back. From flanker right, Boyd Dollar streaks toward the center. Takes the pass on the Oakland 44 and outruns Roger Bird to the goal line. Boyd Dollar, inspired by the code of the coach that winning is the only thing.
Green Bay coach Vince Lombardi was an All-American lineman at Fordham. The question for 10 points, Angels. What was the nickname of the 7 linemen on that Fordham team?
7 blocks of granite.
That is correct. The 7 blocks of granite. The Fordham line. 10 points for the Angels. They lead 80-40 at your free throw, California. Second free throw involves the end of the incredible dynasty of the New York Yankees, who won 14 pennants in 16 years, and in 44 years they took home 29 pennants and 20 World Series to Yankee Stadium. In 1964, the dynasty's last pennant year, the deciding final game, Card pitcher Bob Gibson has given up 2 homers, but he and the Cardinals still lead 7-5, 2 out, 9th inning.
2 outs, 9th inning. Bobby Richardson, the hitter. Gibson delivers. A high pop fly on the infield, and this should do it. Now Maxwell waiting for it. The Cardinals win in 7. And while the Cardinal players celebrate its farewell to the dynasty started by Ruth, Gehrig, and Lazzeri, maintained by DiMaggio, Gomez, and Dickey, and continued by Mantle and Berra. 44 years of Yankee domination.
Just hours after this 1964 series, both World Series managers were gone from their jobs. For 5 points each, name the 2 managers. 5 seconds.
Johnny Keane and Yogi Berra.
Johnny Keane of the Cardinals, Yogi Berra of the Yankees is correct for 10 points. So after 4 rounds, the score, our champion Angels 90, the Boston Celtics 40, but the game's still in doubt. We have the big 90-point biography round coming up, and an in-person visit with this sensational star after this Sports Challenge timeout. California Angels 90, the Boston Celtics 40. Time now for our bonus biography round. Okay, Johnny, go.
Our mystery guest has starred in many sports, but now he coaches his strongest sport, basketball. His team won a professional championship.
The Boston Celtics, your answer, please.
Bill Sharman.
Bill Sharman is correct. The Boston Celtics. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Sharman, who just coached the Utah Stars to the ABA title. Come on here on this side. Hey, congratulations, Coach. And I guess that for the Celtics, they had some advantage in knowing you, although from the silhouette, the Angels knew you as well. And Bill Russell has been called perhaps the most dominating influence ever in pro basketball. He couldn't have been all that perfect. Do you recall any embarrassing moments involving Bill, or a time when he maybe didn't live up to all that standard?
Yes, on the golf course last summer when I played with him. And this is a true story. I played with him. He sliced and almost hit another golfer on the other fairway. Then coming back, he almost hit the same golfer on another fairway. He almost hit the same guy twice. So.
He could qualify for Vice President of the United States. Bill Sharman, congratulations on your great job. Thank you for being with us. I know you want to say hello to your old friend.
Thanks, Dick. Thanks very much.
Bill Sharman, the coach of the Utah Stars, the ABA champions of 1971.
Fans, in a moment, Johnny Gilbert will tell you all about our winners and about next week's challenger for the Boston Celtics. But first, this Sports Challenge timeout. Champions are the Boston Celtics. And Johnny Gilbert, what's on the scoreboard?
Well, Dick, the Celtics, with a total of 120 points, are the winners of this sports challenge. And the East Chicago Heights Athletic Association of East Chicago Heights, Illinois, for whom they were playing, will receive $1,000 worth of AMF Voigt athletic equipment. There are no losers on Sport Challenge, of course. The Frostig Center of Los Angeles, for whom the Angels were playing, will receive $500 worth of Voigt athletic equipment from Sports Challenge. And by the way, if you have a favorite junior athletic organization you'd like to see represented, drop a line to Sports Challenge, 5800 Sunset Boulevard, Hollywood, California. And since the Celtics won this week, they'll return next week, and Dick, who will be here to challenge them?
Johnny, next week's challengers will be a team of distinguished senators from Washington. Frank Howard, Denny McLean, and manager Ted Williams. They'll join our current champions, the Celtics, and yours truly, Dick Enberg. We'll see you all again next week on the Sports Challenge. What the?